Emergency. This is the plenary hall exit plan. For guests situated at the rostrum, the nearest exits are at the north and south rostrum. For occupants at the first floor and front rows of the VIP gallery, the north, south, and main entrance exits are available. For occupants at the VIP gallery, the main entrance and north and south VIP exits are available. For occupants at the second floor gallery, there are exits available at both sides. For occupants at the third floor gallery, there are available exits at the east and west sides. In case of emergency, this is the plenary hall exit plan. For guests situated at the rostrum, the nearest exits are at the north and south rostrum. For occupants at the first floor and front rows of the VIP gallery, the north, south, and main entrance exits are available. For occupants at the VIP gallery, the main entrance and north and south VIP exits are available. For occupants at the second floor gallery, there are exits available at both sides. For occupants at the third floor gallery, there are available exits at the east and west sides.
The session is now called to order. Please, everybody, stand up for singing of our Philippine national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong baghang, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walamit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga apit at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please remain standing for a silent prayer and meditation. Session suspended.
Mr. Speaker, I move to call the roll of the members.
Secretary General is now directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members, honorable representatives. Abalos, Abante, Abunda, Acharon, Asidre, Acop, Adjong, Advincula, Agaraw, Alba, Albano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Jose, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Angara, Aquino, Aquino Magsaysay, Arbison, Arenas, Arrogancia, Asistro, Atayde, Omentado, Balindong, Barba, Barbers, Baronda, Barzaga, Baskug, Bautista, Bautista Lim, Benitez, Bernos, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bondok, Bongalon, Bordado, Busita, Briones, Brosas, Buhain, Bulot Begtang, Bustos, Cabredo, Cagas, Kahayon Uy, Calderon, Calixto, Campos, Kaugdan, Cardema, Cari, Castro France, Castro Drain, Celeste, Shan, Chato, Chua, Shungalao, Ko Angelica Natasha, Ko Elizalde, Ko Pilar, Kuwangko Jaime Eduardo Mark, Kuwangko Mark, Colada, Colyantes, Corvera, Cruz Ambrosio, Cruz Ricardo, Kua, Quaresma, Dagook, Dalipe, Dalog, Dayanghirang, Dasa, De Jesus, De Venecia, Defensor, Delmar, De Los Santos, Dimaporo Muhammad Khalid, Dimaporo Siti Amina, Junicio, Domingo, Duavit, Duhali, Duterte, D. Faustino Ino, D. Faustino Michael Carlos, D. Ian Paul, Ecleo, Emano, Enverga, Escudero, Espares, Espina, Estrella, Udela, Farinas, Fernandez, Ferrer Antonio, Ferrer Juliet Marie, Flores, Fortes, Frasco, Fresnedi, Fuentebella, Galdios, Garcia Albert, Garcia Dante, Garcia Jose Arturo, Garcia Maria Angela, Garcia Pablo John, Garcia Vincent, Garjola, Garin, Gasataya, Gato, Go Ed Christopher, Go Mark, Goles, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Aurelio Dong, Gonzales Neptali, Gonzales Sandro, Goriseta, Gico, Gintu, Gulas, Gutierrez, Hagedorn, Haresco, Hataman, Hernandez, Herrera, Horibata, Javier, Ko Olga Ara, Ko Ricardo, Ko Wilton, Kong Hun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lacson Noel, Lagman, Lagon Daphne, Lagon Sonny, Lara, Lazatin, Lee, Legarda, Libanan, Limkay Chong, Loyola, Lumayag, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Magsino, Malapitan, Mangawang, Manikis, Manuel, Marañon, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariano Hernandez, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Mastura, Matibag, Matugas, Mendoza, Mercado, Mercado Revilla, Miguel, Momo, Morden, Nava, Nisay, Noel, Nograles Juan Fidel Felipe, Nograles Margarita, Nolasco, Auminal, Olaso, Olivares, Ongchuan, Ordanes, Ortega, Juano Dizon, Padiernos, Paduano, Paglas, Palma, Panaligan, Pancho, Panotes, Pascual, Peña, Pimentel, Plaza, Pleito, Primicias Agabas, Pumaren, Puno, Kimbo, Rama, Recto, Regencia, Remulla, Revilla Brian, Revilla Ramon Jolo, Reyes, Rillo, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez Eulogio, Rodriguez Rufus, Roman, Romero, Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Yeda Marie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Sali, Salimbangon, Salo, Salvame, Santos, Saulog, Silverio, Ringson Richel, Singson Ronald, Singson Mihan, Solon, Suan, Swansing Horacio, Swansing Micaela Angela, Suarez, Talyado, Tamayo, Tambunting, Tan Joseph, Tan Keith Micah, Tan Reynolds Michael, Tan Samuel, Tan Stephen James, Tan Tambut, Tanchay Tanwatko, Tariela, Teodoro, Teves, Chanco, Cheng, Tolentino, Tulfo Erwin, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Rav Wendell, Tupas, Tutor, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Valeriano, Valmayor, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velasco, Veloso Tuazon, Vergara, Versosa, Villa, Villafuerte Luis Raymond, Villafuerte Miguel Luis, Villanueva, Villar, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villago, Yamsuan, Yap Christian Tel, Yap Christopherson, Yap Edvic, Yap Eric, U Divina Grace, U Yezel Victoria, Yulo, Zamora Amparo Maria, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Isabel Maria, Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 213 members responded to the call.
213. With 213 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of the quorum. Floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the deferment of the approval of the journal of the previous session.
Is there any objection? There is none. Motion is approved. Floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports.
The Secretary General is now directed to read the title of the proposed House bill and resolutions.
Reference of business, bills on first reading. House Bill 9097, institutionalizing a criminal investigation system, Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 9098, strengthening and modernizing the Bureau of Fire Protection, Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
House Bill 9099, establishing Philippine Heart Centers in Cagayan de Oro City for Mindanao, Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 9100, providing better conditions for inmates by adjusting the cost of subsistence allowance per inmate per day from 70 pesos to 100 pesos, and increasing the medicine allowance per inmate per day from 15 pesos to 30 pesos. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 9101, establishing a lung center of the Philippines in Cagayan de Oro City for Mindanao. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 9102, providing for the Magna Carta for public councilors. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 9103, creating the National Diabetes Center and Foundation. By Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 9104, establishing National Kidney and Transplant Institutes in Cagayan de Oro City for Mindanao. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
Committee on Health.
House Bill 9105, establishing the Philippine Children's Medical Center for Mindanao. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 9106, providing non-wage benefits for public school teachers. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 9107, mandating the establishment of rehabilitation center for illegal drugs users in every province of the Philippines. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Dangerous Drugs.
House Bill 9108, strengthening the legal staff of the DOJ, renaming it as the Office of the Chief State Counsel. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 9109, providing for a national framework for students' rights and welfare. Representative Rodriguez Rufus.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture. And to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 9110, institutionalizing a nationwide language revitalization program. Representative Tambunting.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 9111, to conserve and protect Philippine public forests, mangroves, and wildlife through a comprehensive environmental program of renewal, replanting, and reforestation. Representative Tambunting.
To the Special Committee on Reforestation.
House Bill 9112, establishing a universal newborn hearing screening program for the prevention, early diagnosis, and intervention of hearing loss among children. Representative Tambunting.
Health.
House Bill 9113, granting hazard pay to all public prosecutors in the Philippines during their incumbency. Representative Tambunting.
Committee on Justice.
House Bill 9114, strengthening and rationalizing the regulatory capacity of the Bureau of Quarantine, renaming it to the Philippine Quarantine Authority. By Representative Bongalon.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 9115, providing for a Bill of Rights for air passengers. By Representative Bongalon.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Bill 9116, establishing a framework for blue economy and promoting stewardship and sustainable development of coastal and marine ecosystems and resources. Representatives Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Erwin, Yap Edvic, and Yap Eric.
To the Committee on Economic Affairs.
House Bill 9117, providing for the modernization of the judiciary. Representatives Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Erwin, Yap Edvic, and Yap Eric.
The Committee on Justice.
House Bill 9118, institutionalizing the grant of a teaching supplies allowance for public school teachers. Representatives Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tulfo Jocelyn, and Tulfo Erwin.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill numbers 9119 and 9120, establishing national high schools in Timpas, Panitan, and Bato, Panay in the province of Capiz. By Representative Ginto.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 9121, establishing the Don Honorio Ventura State University System. By Representative Gonzales Aurelio.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 9122, amending Section 450 of the Local Government Code to institutionalize the one city for every province and automatically convert capital towns of provinces without cities either as a component city, independent component city, or highly urbanized city. By Representative Legarda.
To the Committee on Local Government.
Resolutions. House Resolution 1278, congratulating and commending Filipino Representative Mark Jason Galauran of the 2nd District of Caloocan City, who bagged the silver medal in the 2023 International Powerlifting Federation World Class and Equipped Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships held last August 24, 2023 to September 3, 2023 in Romania. Representative Kahayon Uy.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 1279, congratulating and commending Filipino youth athlete Fier Afan for winning the 2023 World Grappling Championship in Warsaw, Poland, held on August 22, 2023. Representative Teves.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
Messages from the Senate. Message dated September 11, 2023, informing the House of Representatives that on even date, the Senate passed Senate Bill 2200, in which it requests the concurrence of the House of Representatives.
To the Committee on Public Accounts. To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
Message dated September 11, 2023, informing the House that on even date, the Senate passed Senate Bill 2243, in which it requests the concurrence of the House.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
Communications. Letter dated July 25, 2023, of the COA chairperson, furnishing the House of Representatives with copies of their annual audit reports for the year ending December 31, 2022, on the DFA and the Office of the President.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Letter dated August 22, 2023, of the DEN or Undersecretary, Finance, Information Systems, and Climate Change, submitting to the OIC Supervising Auditor, Audit Group 1, a copy of their agency action plan and status of implementation as of August 10, 2023, on the audit observations and recommendations of the COA on the consolidated annual audit report for the calendar year 2022.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Letter and various reports submitted by local government chief executives and officials regarding their fund utilization and status of program project implementation of the Local Government Support Fund.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Report dated September 11, 2023, of the Secretary General of the House of Representatives on enrolled copies of House Bill 7413, which were transmitted to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House of Representatives.
The aforementioned committee reports are all referred to the Committee on... Jen, please.
Committee reports. Committee Report 752, submitted by the Special Committee on Nuclear Energy on House Resolution 1282. Committee Report 753, submitted by the Committees on Basic Education and Culture and Appropriations on House Bill 9128. Committee Report 754, submitted by the Committee on Basic Education and Culture on House Resolution 1285. Committee Reports number 755 and 756, submitted by the Committee on Youth and Sports Development on House Resolution numbers 1287 and 1288.
The aforementioned committee reports are all referred to the Committee on Rules. The Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the guests of Honorable Crispin Diego D. Remulla from the municipality of Indang, Cavite. They are Mayor Perfecto V. Pidel, Vice Mayor Samuel Rudil, Councilors Restituto Vejerano, Councilor Ferdy Papa, Councilor Nilo Telmo, Councilor Ave Casianan, Councilor Ronald Bernarte, Councilor Isel Borja, Councilor Ramil Herrera, Councilor Danilo Masangkay, SK President Kian Ferrer, and ABC President Marcelino Cruzada. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
To the guests of Honorable Crispin Diego D. Remulla, welcome to the House of Representatives. Palakpakan po natin ang ating guest. Salamat po. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I would also like to acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Bong Teves, representative of TGP Party List, 2023 World Grappling Champion Fiera Afan, and Mr. Alvin Aguilar, President and founder of Universal Reality Combat Championship, President of the Wrestling Association of the Philippines.
To the guest of Deputy Majority Leader Bong Teves, welcome to the House of the People. Palakpakan po natin.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we acknowledge the guests of Honorable Aurelio Dong D. Gonzales Jr. of the 3rd District of Pampanga, namely Mayor Eduardo D. Mandato of Bacolor, Pampanga, Renato Lee, Bacolor Budget Officer, Dr. Enrique Baking, DHVSU President, Dean Dali Kiambao, DHVSU Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Graduate School, Attorney David Robert Aquino, and Ms. Morina Ensomo.
Thank you to my guests, Mayor Eduardo Di Mandato of Bacolor, Renato Lee, Bacolor Budget Officer, the President of Don Honorio Ventura State University, Dr. Enrique Baking, Dean Dali Kiambao of DABSU, Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean Graduate School, Attorney Robert David, the DABSU Dean School of Law, and Ms. Bonina Ensomo. To my constituent and my kabalin, Malawas ko po, Kelly King House of Representatives. Palakpakan po natin ang ating bisita. Dakal pong salamat, Mayor, Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, moved for 1 minute suspension.
Session suspended.
Wala pa naman eh.
Second reading tayo.
Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 6933 as contained in Committee Report number 287, and may I request that the Secretary General be instructed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 6933.
House Bill 6933, an act declaring the province of Pampanga as the Christmas capital of the Philippines.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize our Senior Deputy Speaker, Dong Gonzales, to begin sponsorship of the measure.
Our Senior Deputy Speaker, Representative Dong Gonzales, my partner, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Fellow members of this August Chamber, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon to all of you. As what the song suggests by Jose Marichan, Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. And although there are plenty of Christmas traditions around the world, ours here in the Philippines is uniquely different. Pagdating po ng Bear Months, umpisa na po ang Pasko dito sa Pilipinas. Christmas lights starts to glitter, and our native paroles shine and light in our homes and in the streets. Ganito ang Paskong Pinoy, masaya at maliwanag. I stand here today to sponsor House Bill number 6933, which seeks to declare the province of Pampanga as the Christmas capital of the Philippines. This is in recognition to the economic, cultural, and significance of the lantern-making industry which has existed for the decades and crafted by excellent Kapampangans, artisans that has been significant contributor to the economy of the province. Pampanga is the best place to be with. If you want to experience Christmas to the fullest, we will invite you in Pampanga. The annual Giant Lantern Festival features lavish displays and enormous lanterns made by its participating barangays. The intricate and unique platters combined with vibrant lights set it apart from a typical parol. My fellow Kapampangans pride themselves in these creations as it showcased in their creativity and craftsmanship. Pampanga is lantern-making industry and has been included in several historic occasions in our country's history. In 1966, Kapampangan lanterns made its way in the halls of Malacanang Palace during the summit organized by Sampaguita Pictures in 1969. A 14-foot giant lantern was lit up during the inauguration of the iconic Nayong Filipino Theme Park. As the request of the First Lady Imelda Marcos, during that time, the lanterns made their way to Samar and Leyte. Sometime in 1970s, the government decorated the outdoors of Fort Santiago with lanterns made in Pampanga during the state visit of King Juan Carlos of Spain in 1979. The first documented overseas display of giant lantern happened during the 75th anniversary of the Philippine-Hawaii Commission in 2021. The steel frame lantern that was used among the 500th anniversary of the Battle of Mactan in Cebu came from the Kiwa clan natives of Pampanga in the city of San Fernando, Pampanga. In addition, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, Pampanga was home of the Pascuan Village, a year-round theme park of Christmas extravaganza, a first of its kind in Asia. Pascuan Village featured the best of Filipino arts and craft. In due recognition for this unique tradition, international media company CNN hailed the city of San Fernando as Asia's Christmas capital. Lahat tayo ay excited na ipagdiwang ang Pasko. Kung sana naman ako ay naglalambing sa inyong lahat, Mr. Speaker, my fellow House members, irigalo po natin ito sa ating bansa, lalo na sa aking mahal na lalawigan sa Pampanga, ang panukalang batas na ito. The passage of this bill is the highest recognition of our unique cultural identity and heritage. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, dakal salamat kayong suportayo kening bill ko na ning maging the province of Pampanga to be the Christmas capital of the Philippines. Dakal salamat, maya pagkatpadapon po kay kayungan.
Thank you, distinguished sponsor. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate Sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee amendment nor individual amendment, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 6933.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 6933 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 6933 is hereby approved on second reading. Congratulations. Merry Christmas. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend session for a few minutes.
Session is suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 9015 as contained in Committee Report number 731, and may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 9015.
House Bill 9015, an act institutionalizing the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program and appropriating funds therefore.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the chairperson of the Committee on Higher and Technical Education, the Honorable Mark Go, be recognized to begin sponsorship of the measure.
Honorable Mark Go is recognized to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues. I have the honor of sponsoring House Bill 9015 under Committee Report 731, which institutionalizes the Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETEAP. This bill, Mr. Speaker, proposes to institutionalize the ETEAP to strengthen the system of academic equivalency and accreditation at the college level. Under this program, senior high school graduates, post-secondary technical vocational students and graduates, and college undergrads who have become workers, employees, and professionals with an aggregate of 5 or more years of work experience will be able to earn credit units based on their knowledge, work experiences, achievements, and skills obtained through their jobs to earn school credits that are then deducted from the total number of units or credits that they have required to earn before they graduate. Mr. Speaker, the bill provides that the CHED, or the Commission on Higher Education, shall be the lead agency in implementing this proposed law as an integral part of the higher education system. It shall deputize or accredit agencies, organizations, and HCIs that seek to offer the ETEAP as part of their academic programs. Under this bill, Mr. Speaker, the Commission on Higher Education shall also certify
after a thorough evaluation, the pertinent work experiences, knowledge, attitude, values, and expertise acquired by workers, employees, and professionals from high-level, non-formal, and informal training towards the awarding of an appropriate academic degree. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the acquisition of knowledge and skills does not only take place within the confines of the classroom, but beyond that. We have enacted related laws on equivalency in higher and technical vocational education, such as the Ladderized Education Act, the Open Distance Learning Act, the Dual Training Act, and for basic education, the Alternative Learning System, or the ALS. It is high time, Mr. Speaker, that we also give access to educational opportunities to persons with proven competence so they can develop their full potentials and prepare them for higher value jobs required for attaining global competitiveness. Institutionalizing the ETIAP as an alternative learning program will be a big help to students who stop schooling to be able to earn a living, such as workers, employees, professionals, and other undergrad adults with acquired competencies to finally earn a degree through the recognition of their experience, knowledge, skills, and expertise obtained through their jobs, which shall be given equivalent school credits. This will also enable these individuals to harness their full potential so that they can further contribute to national development. For these reasons, Mr. Speaker and my esteemed colleagues, I urge you to support the passage of this measure. Again, thank you very much at magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate the said sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee nor individual amendment, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 9015.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 9015 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 9015 is hereby approved on second reading.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Congratulations.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Majority Leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 9045 as contained in Committee Report number 739, and may I request that the Secretary General be instructed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 9045.
House Bill 9045, an act providing the Muslim Filipinos better access to Sharia courts, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 9997, otherwise known as the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos Act of 2009.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the chairperson of the Committee on Muslim Affairs, the Honorable Muhammad Khalid de Maporo, be recognized to begin sponsorship of the measure.
The Honorable Representative de Maporo is recognized to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Auzu billahi minasyaitanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, greetings of peace. It is a privilege for me to present to the plenary Committee Report number 739, House Bill number 9045, titled An Act Amending Republic Act number 9997, otherwise known as the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos Act for 2009, to provide Muslim Filipinos better access to Sharia courts in its absence, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. The purpose of this bill is to provide better access to Sharia courts for Muslim Filipinos by allowing the NCMF to act as service providers for and in their behalf to process documents to the Sharia courts. In addition, this bill also seeks to enable the creation of a digital platform which will allow electronic processing of certain services of the Sharia courts. We have ensured that this bill will not encroach into the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Together with the Office of the Court Administrator, we placed a specific provision in Section 2 stating the provisions of this section shall not be construed as an impediment on the jurisdiction of the courts. We hope the day will come that the Muslim Filipino communities residing in the far north, such as Baguio, or those who have migrated to urban centers such as Metro Manila, Cebu City, or their periphery, or those scattered into the different non-BARM provinces in our country's different administrative regions, will no longer have to fly to Zamboanga City just to avail of a Sharia court. They can simply proceed to the nearest NCMF office and avail of this government service for the benefit of the Muslim Filipino. It is for this reason I earnestly request the support of the plenary for the approval of Committee Report number 739, House Bill number 9045, for better access to the Sharia courts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. Shukran.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate the said sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee nor individual amendment, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 9045.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 9045 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 9045 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, before we proceed, we'd like to acknowledge the guests of Honorable Marlene B. Alonte, Representative Lone District of Biñan. They are Kyle Colas Jennerman, Catherine Dikit, Jonah Durwin, Mark Yanes, Attorney Dominic Javellana, and Attorney Lilin Javellana.
To the guests of our Honorable Representative Len Alonte, welcome to the House of Representatives. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your visit. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 4641 as contained in Committee Report number 294, and may I request that the Secretary General be instructed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 4641.
House Bill 4641, an act declaring the city of General Santos as the tuna capital of the Philippines.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the representative from the Lone District of General Santos City, the Honorable Loreto B. Acharon, to begin sponsorship of the measure.
The Honorable Representative Acharon is recognized. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. It is my honor to sponsor House Bill number 4641 as contained in the Committee Report number 294, which is entitled An Act Declaring the City of General Santos as the Tuna Capital of the Philippines. Mr. Speaker, the Philippines is an archipelagic country with territorial waters. An exclusive economic zone covers a total area of 2.2 million square kilometers and boasts a coastline spanning 36,289 kilometers. This impressive coastline ranks the Philippines as having the fifth longest in the world, and it is blessed with abundant fisheries resources. Fishing has emerged as one of the main economic drivers in our country, contributing 12.70% to the total agricultural gross value added in 2021, equivalent to 248.47 million pesos. Moreover, the fishing industry provides livelihood for 2.08 million registered fisher folk, including women and youth engaged in various activities such as capture fishing, fish farming or aquaculture, fish processing, fish vending, gleaning, and other fishery-related jobs. Notably, the city of General Santos is recognized as a major fishing hub in the country, with tuna being the primary commodity in both local and international trade. The General Santos City Fishport Complex plays a vital role in the East Asia growth area as a significant post-harvest infrastructure in the Mindanao region. Over the past decade, the GSPFC has consistently led in fish landing volumes, particularly of tuna and tuna-like fishes. Additionally, it houses 6 out of the 8 tuna canning plants and 12 out of 15 frozen tuna processors in the country. Presently, tuna industry in Jensen employs approximately 120,000 fish workers. Over the course of 40 years, the city of General Santos has gained renown for its tuna, hence the well-deserved title of Tuna Capital of the Philippines. With this in mind, I urge my fellow members in this esteemed chamber to lend their support for the swift passage of this bill. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and my distinguished colleagues.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate the said sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee amendment nor individual amendment, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 4641.
There is a motion to approve House Bill number 4641 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 4641 is hereby approved on second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider bills under the calendar of business for Thursday and Friday. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules, allow me to put forth an omnibus motion for the consideration of the following House bills. House Bill number 9016 under Committee Report number 732. House Bill number 9018 under Committee Report number 734. House Bill number 9019 under Committee Report number 735. House Bill number 9037 under Committee Report number 738. House Bill number 9047 under Committee Report number 740. House Bill number 9048 under Committee Report number 741. House Bill number 5911 under Committee Report number 742. House Bill number 5659 under Committee Report number 743. House Bill number 9049 under Committee Report number 744. And may I request the Secretary General to read the titles of the said local bills.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the aforementioned House bills, the title of the aforementioned House bills.
House Bill 9016, an act establishing a technical education and skills development authority, training and assessment center in the municipality of Gumaca, province of Quezon, and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 9018, an act establishing a technical education and skills development authority, training and assessment center in the municipality of Labason, province of Zamboanga del Norte, and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill number 9019, an act modernizing and converting the Kabugao School of Handicraft and Cottage Industries in the municipality of Bato, province of Catanduanes, into a polytechnic institute to be administered and supervised by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 9037, an act establishing a technical education and skills development authority, training and assessment center in the municipality of Don Carlos, province of Bukidnon, and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 9047, an act converting the extension office of the Land Transportation Office in the municipality of Catanawan, province of Quezon, into a district office and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 9048, an act upgrading the district office of the Land Transportation Office in the city of Digos, province of Davao del Sur, from Class D to Class C, and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 5911, an act converting the Sindangan Extension Office of the Land Transportation Office located in the municipality of Sindangan, province of Zamboanga del Norte, into a regular LTO office and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 5659, an act establishing a district office of the Land Transportation Office in the municipality of San Miguel, in the in the second district, province of Iloilo, and appropriating funds therefore. House Bill 9049, an act converting the district office of the Land Transportation Office in the municipality of Rosales, province of Pangasinan, into a Class A district office and appropriating funds therefore.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider the respective explanatory notes as the sponsorship of the said measures.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. That motion of the Majority Leader is approved. Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate on the said local bills, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby terminated. Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, there being no committee nor individual amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is hereby terminated. Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading the following House bills: 9016, 9018, 9019, 9037, 9047, 9048, 5911, 5659, and 9049.
There is a motion to approve House Bills number 9016, 9018, 9019, 9037, 9047, 9048, 5911, 5659, and 9049 on second reading. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bills number 9016, 9018, 9019, 9037, 9047, 9048, 5911, 5659, and 9049 is hereby approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we designate the following members to the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 8278 and Senate Bill number 2243 on revitalizing the salt industry. They are namely, first, Representative Wilfredo Mark M. Enverga, Joey Sarte Salceda, Ron P. Salo, Evgeny Vincente Bambi Emano, Representative Eddie Bong Plaza, Representative Robert Raymond M. Estrella, Representative Wilbert T. Lee.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion of the Majority Leader is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend session for a few minutes.
Session is suspended. resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of unfinished business, I move that we resume consideration of House Bill number 8937 as contained in Committee Report number 720. And for this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 8937.
House Bill 8937, an act enhancing the fiscal regime for the mining industry, amending for the purpose Sections 34B and creating new sections 151A, 151B, 151C, and 151D, all under Republic Act Number 8424, otherwise known as the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997, as amended.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the parliamentary status of the bill is that it is in the period of sponsorship and debate. I move that the Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means, the Honorable Micaela Swansing, be recognized.
The Honorable Micaela Swansing is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am ready to receive questions from our distinguished colleagues.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from the 1st District of Albay, the Honorable Edsel C. Lagman, to continue with his interpellation.
The Honorable Lagman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to acknowledge receipt from the good sponsor the data I requested yesterday and the other days. But in order for the membership of the House to have also knowledge of this data, more specifically on foreign equity in our domestic corporations operating in the mining areas, we would request the good sponsor to read for the records the respective foreign equity in the various mining corporations.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Given that the list is quite lengthy, I would like to, excuse me.
If you wish good sponsor, you can just make a total
Yes, Mr.
so that we
Speaker.
can get the average of foreign investments to save time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that yesterday specific companies were mentioned in terms of the 12 companies that were operating within mineral reservations, with the permission of our distinguished interpellator, I will quickly go through the foreign equity ownership, particularly for those 12 companies, and thereafter give an estimate on the average foreign equity for most of the mining operations operating in the country. For the 12 companies operating within mineral reservations, Adnama Mining Resources has 0% foreign equity, meaning it's 100% domestically owned. Cagdianao Mining Corporation, 0% foreign ownership. Cadascal Nickel Corporation, 19.71% foreign ownership. Century P Corporation, my apologies. Carrascal Nickel Corporation has 0% foreign equity. Century P Corporation has 19% foreign equity. CTP Construction, 0% foreign equity. Hinatuan Mining Corporation, 38% foreign equity. Libho Mining Corporation, 30% foreign equity. Mark Ventures Mining, 3% foreign equity. Platinum Group Metals Corporation, 30% foreign equity. At SR Metals Incorporated, 0% foreign equity. And Taganito Mining Corporation, 38% foreign equity. On average, Mr. Speaker, for the companies listed in the for the companies operating within mining reservations, on average, the foreign equity is about 20%.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. And you would agree that the foreign equity in these mining companies is rather small.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Most of them are actually 100% domestically owned.
Why is this so? Why are foreign investors not engaging in mining operations in the Philippines?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, we may refer to the Fraser report to give us a sense of why that is the case. Given the Fraser report of 2021, in terms of investment attractiveness, the index score, if you compare the index scores across countries, we are ranked 57th out of 84 in terms of investment attractiveness. That is not because of our mineral potential, but rather because of the policy perception among investors. If we break down the criteria in terms of the mineral potential index score, we actually rank quite high. We're at 29 out of 84, but where our ranking was pulled down substantially is in terms of the policy perception, where we ranked 83 out of 84. That can be explained, if you look at the criteria, mostly because of regulatory uncertainties, uncertainties in terms of environmental regulation, taxation, the moratoriums that were issued in the past, and the ban on open pit mining. All of these actually diminish the investment attractiveness of the Philippines to foreign investors.
In order to check that lack of investment by foreigners in our mining areas, what does this bill do to attract foreign investors other than the reform in the tax regime?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, I completely agree. That is the foremost. Even if you talk to the stakeholders in the mining industry, the biggest wish actually is to give them certainty in terms of what fiscal regime or regulatory framework will be put in place for the Philippines. But apart from that, there are also your bureaucratic procedures in terms of red tape that need to be addressed, just overall improvement of business climate for the mining industry, and as well as other factors such as infrastructure and socio-economic factors.
I think, Mr. Speaker, good sponsor, that the principal factor is our mineral potential, because we rank rather at the bottom with respect to the most traded and mined minerals, which is copper and gold. Yesterday, the good sponsor agreed that taking everything equal, including the level and basis of royalty tax, an investor would engage in mining in countries which have sufficient deposit of mineral ore, so that its venture would be viable and the prospect of a good return is assured. Does the good sponsor confirm her agreement to this proposition?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I confirm that that was a statement that I made yesterday.
Yesterday also, the good sponsor agreed that copper and gold are the most mined and traded minerals worldwide. Does the good sponsor confirm this?
Mr. Speaker, just to clarify, the statement made yesterday was that copper and gold were the most resource-rich in the Philippines. In terms of the resources that we have, copper and gold are the top two in terms of our mineral resources.
May we know what is the percentage of gold mining in the list of minerals being mined in the Philippines?
Mr. Speaker, may I request for a 1-minute suspension just for me to pull the data?
Session suspended.
I hope the time is not deducted from my 1 hour, Mr. Speaker.
Definitely, Congressman Lagman. Can you stop the time, please, Secretary General?
Sorry to disturb, ha?
Session is resumed. Please proceed, distinguished sponsor.
Mr. Speaker, in terms of the contribution to the total metallic mineral production for the previous year, nickel nickel, cobalt, mixed sulfides, scandium oxalate, altogether byproducts of nickel accounted for 46.57% of production. Gold came in second with 41% contribution, and copper came in third with a 10% contribution. The others, silver, chromite, and iron, altogether accounted for 1.46% of production.
Well, I asked that question because the answer of the good sponsor is that we have made a major operation in copper and gold. Now, she said that 41% of the production comes from gold mining. May we know what is 41% in terms of tonnage?
Mr. Speaker, for the year 2022, in terms of kilograms, that translated to a quantity of 14,670 kilograms of gold. 14,700 kilograms of gold.
Since we usually refer to tonnage in the measurement of production, how many tonnage would that translate to?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, according to the MGB, the saleable form or the form of gold when it's sold is in kilograms. Therefore, in terms of measuring production, the production in gold is measured in terms of kilograms.
Okay. The distinguished sponsor said that copper came third. And what was again the percentage of the output or production with respect to copper?
For copper, Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that copper came in third with a percentage of 10%.
10%. And 10% would translate to how much in tonnage?
For copper, in dry metric tons, that translated to 125,000 metric tons. Actually, Mr. Speaker, I would like to correct the figure that was thrown a while ago. For gold, it's actually 28,000 kilograms, and for copper, it's 250,000 metric tons. It's because it's half, the values that I have is for half the year.
The abundance of gold and copper deposits in a country, to a good extent, is reflected by its annual gross production. Would this be a reliable measure?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, that may not be a very accurate estimate because the production is also based off the number of players that are actually working in that space. For example, as shown by the contributions, the ranking is nickel first, gold second, and copper third in terms of production. However, in terms of our resources in the country, copper actually comes first, then gold second, and nickel third. So the production does not actually mirror very accurately the amount of resources that are present in the Philippines.
The number of players in the mining industry would reflect the attractiveness of the country for mining ventures. And one of the factors would be the sufficiency or amount of mineral deposits in the country. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker. That is one of the criteria they're looking at, apart from the investment climate in the Philippines, the policy climate, rather.
Okay. Worldwide, according to the World Gold Council, the Philippines ranks number 26 in gold output. Would the good sponsor confirm this?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we've looked at that data. We've also looked at the survey of the USGS, or the US Geological Survey, which approximates that we're ranked 25th for gold.
Consequently, as a destination for investors, with respect to gold mining, the Philippines is outranked by 25 other countries. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
Accordingly, taking everything equal, again, an investor would go to the countries ascendant to the Philippines in gold deposits and production. Is this correct?
Mr. Speaker, given how the regime is currently, that is correct. But we believe that once we put this new proposed fiscal mining regime in place, our attractiveness would be substantially better than it is now.
For gold, for example, Peru has 2,000 metric tons of reserves, while Indonesia has 2,600 reserves. Again, the Philippines has much lower gold reserves compared to these two countries at 475 metric tons. Would the distinguished sponsor confirm this?
I can confirm that, Mr. Speaker, those two countries rank higher in terms of the level of reserves for gold.
Will the distinguished sponsor also agree that with respect to copper production, the Philippines is not even ranked according to the World Economic Forum? In fact, the Philippines is lumped together under, quote, other countries, unquote. Would the distinguished sponsor agree?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that.
For example, for copper, Chile has an estimated reserve of about 200 million metric tons, while Peru has about 77 million metric tons. Indonesia, possibly our closest competitor, has 24 million metric tons of reserves. In comparison, the Philippines has around 3,200 metric tons of copper reserves. Would this be confirmed by the distinguished sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, I agree with the part of the statement of the Honorable Interpellator. Apart from the level of reserves or the resources that we have for copper, we actually have 12.4 billion metric tons of copper.
Where is that database? May we know?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, this is based on the data of the MGB. One of the reasons as well cited by the MGB as to why we're ranked very low on the list is that we don't have our own capabilities to commission these sorts of surveys, so we rely heavily on international surveys. And that's also the reason why perhaps our volume of resources is not accurately depicted in these surveys.
So the foreign surveys appear to be erratic. Is that the position of the Mines and Bureau?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, upon conferring with the MGB, I can confirm that.
Now, several weeks ago, there was a news item that the Philippines is the second biggest producer of gold. May we know whether the distinguished sponsor came across that news item?
Mr. Speaker, I would just like to ask our distinguished interpolator, is this the article that talks about our prospectivity as well? Because I also came across that article wherein it's saying that we're second in gold, I believe third in copper, and I think fourth in nickel. I did come across that article as
Yeah.
well.
May we ask the Bureau whether they confirm this news item that we are second in gold production?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, actually had a very lengthy conversation with the MGB about the same news article. They actually cite that that this did not emanate from them in terms of the level of prospectivity. It was cited once in an international news article, and the MGB is actually unable to trace the source for that news article. That's also the reason why, in general, the MGB doesn't cite or use that ranking in all of their releases.
That alleged ranking is good for the Philippines, but it is not true. Did the Bureau make a rectification of that false news?
Mr. Speaker, upon conferring with the MGB, they have not, at this point, made active efforts to make any rectifications, as they are still in the process of tracing the source for this information. Perhaps it's founded on some index or some criteria of that particular source, but they're still in the process of identifying the source and, as needed, rectifying it.
The source is immaterial. The essence of the news is substantial. So, irrespective of the identification of the source, the Bureau should make a factual correction based on their own data. Will they make that rectification?
Mr. Speaker, the representatives from the MGB present today will relay the advice, the suggestion of our Honorable Lagman with regard to the rectification of this information.
May we know what is the present gross tax collection of the Philippines from copper mining operations?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, the data that we have now is not aggregated or not detailed based on the different minerals. However, I can share with our distinguished interpolator the total collections from the mining industry in general.
Well, I hope that we can be furnished before we approve this bill on third reading. The gross tax collection of the Philippines from copper mining operations and gold mining ventures.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we'll try to disaggregate the data. Right now, I have it for those operating, all the mining companies operating within mineral reservations. However, I don't have the data currently for those operating outside. So we will share that information with the Honorable Lagman before this bill is placed on third reading.
Now, may we know whether this gross tax collection come from the 5% of gross production of large-scale metallic mining for copper and gold lands, in addition to other reserves.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, the 5% of gross output refers to the royalties currently remitted by mining operators within mineral reservations. Currently, there are no mining operators engaged in the extraction of gold and copper that operate within mineral reservations. All of the companies are engaged only in nickel extraction, those operating within mineral reservations. So the royalties that are remitted by these companies operating within mineral reservations translate to about 2.5 billion pesos every year.
And is the Bureau not rather suspicious, to say the least, why there are no gold and copper operations in non-reserved mineral areas?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, if I may clarify, yes, they are quite concerned with the fact that there are no gold and copper operations operating within mineral reservations. And one of the reasons is the stiff royalty that is currently imposed, which is at 5% of gross output. Nickel operators are able to absorb that royalty rate, given that the operating cost for nickel is much lower than gold and copper. So that's the main reason, according to the stakeholders in the mining industry, why there are no copper and gold operators within mineral reservations.
With respect to other minerals, excluding gold and copper, how much is the tax collection based on the percentage of gross production, which is 5%?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, may I ask a clarificatory question to our distinguished interpolator? Is that taxes collected or specifically royalties?
On royalty. We are talking about royalty.
Okay, Mr. Speaker.
Because this tax reform is on royalty.
Currently, Mr. Speaker, since other minerals such as chromium and iron, aside from those already discussed, nickel, gold, and copper, all chromium and iron operators and other metals like silver are operating outside of mineral reservations. And currently, in the current regime, there are no royalties collected for mining operators operating outside of mineral reservations. So they currently do not have any contributions in terms of royalty.
Now, I am asking, with respect to operators in reserve mining areas, what is the gross collection on the royalty tax based on 5% of gross production?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. For royalties within mineral reservations, the collection for the year 2022 is at 2.5 billion pesos, and that's in the current regime of 5% of gross output.
When the royalty tax from 5% to 3% is reduced based on gross, how much will be the revenue loss?
The estimated revenue loss, Mr. Speaker, from reducing the rate from 5 to 3% is 990 million pesos.
990
million pesos,
million.
Mr. Speaker.
May we know why the windfall tax on mining operations is based only starting from the above 90% of net profit? The mining operator is now assured of its windfall income up to 35%.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, one of the bases of that for determining the floor for the margins for windfall profits taxes is the average windfall profits for the mining operators operating within the country. At present, based on the data shared by the BIR and DOF from previous years, from the operations of mining operators in previous years, the average margin that they have is about 46%. So if we, given the current floor of 35% for the margin, most of the mining operators would actually be paying that windfall profits tax.
Okay. This isn't the first time that we are imposing or will be imposing a windfall tax. Before, when the country imposed a windfall tax, what was the basis for the tax?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, in terms of for the mining industry, this is the first time that we will be imposing a windfall profits tax.
With respect to other industries, did we impose before a windfall tax?
Mr. Speaker, upon conferring with the DOF and the BIR, we can categorically say that no windfall profits tax have been imposed in other industries as well.
Okay, thank you. That is subject to further verification. Now, in the budget of expenditures and sources of funds, BESF, for 2024, it is reported that the projected revenue from the totality of mining operations in the Philippines altogether is only 26.061 billion pesos. Can you confirm this?
Mr. Speaker, may I request for a minute suspension while the DOF checks the BESF.
Session suspended. Session is resumed. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, upon conferring with the DOF and conferring as well with our distinguished interpolator, the DOF has committed to revisit the figure cited as indicated in the BESF.
What should be the correct figure, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, if we base it off the collections in 2022 from the mining industry, totaling 38 billion in taxes and royalties. As per the current split, 90% of that should go to the national government. Therefore, 34 billion should be reflected as the contribution of the mining industry to the national government.
Okay. Well, I ask this question because I would like that the figures be validated. Now, Mr. Speaker, may I ask for an extension of 5 minutes?
Yes, of course.
So that I could wind up.
Yes, of course, Congressman Lagman.
Allow me to end this interpellation with a manifestation. Considering the small revenue contribution, because to me 34 billion is still small, collected from the mining operations to the national expenditure, this bill is counterproductive for the following reasons. One, it reduces from 5% to 3% the royalty tax based on gross production of large-scale metallic mining operations in the mineral reserve areas, thus resulting to revenue loss. Two, the new imposition of royalty tax based on net profit in mining operations in non-reserve areas does not maximize tax collection as compared to royalty tax based on gross. Three, pegging the windfall tax on a high profit threshold after companies are secured of at least 35% margins is contrary to the wisdom of a windfall tax. And finally, four, considering the Philippines' low deposit of copper and gold, compared to many other countries, which outrank us on gold, copper reserves, as well as production. A foreign investor will go to the countries which have bigger copper and gold reserves to assure the viability of their operation and a better margin of return of investment. Despite our effort to have our royalty tax at the level of other countries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to interpolate, and thank you, good sponsor, for yielding to my interpolations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished interpolator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much to the Honorable Edsa Lagman for his interpellation.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other member who wished to interpolate our good sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of debate, sponsorship, and interpellation.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Few minutes suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session is suspended. Session is resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority
I now move that we open the period of committee amendments. However, there being no committee amendments, I move that we close the same.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we open the period of individual amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
To propose individual amendments, Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Jinky Luistro.
The Honorable Jinky Luestro is recognized for her individual amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This representation wishes to propose the following individual amendments. First, on page 2, line 4, replace the number 3 to 4. Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
We agree, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The individual amendment is approved. may
Mr.
proceed.
Speaker, for our second amendment, on the same page, line 9, replace the number 3 to 4. Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
We agree, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved.
That would be all for now, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
Majority
Speaker,
Leader.
to introduce other individual amendments, I move that we recognize the pride of Iloilo and ang crush ng mga Ilonggo, the Honorable Nonoy Defensor of the 3rd District of Iloilo.
Honorable Defensor is recognized for his individual amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 3, section 3 of the bill, delete lines 24 to 30, and in lieu of which insert the following. Open quote, subparagraph A, royalty rate for large-scale metallic mining operations, period dash, royalty rate for large-scale metallic mining operations that are subject to mineral agreements and financial or technical assistance agreements, open parenthesis, FTAA, and close parenthesis, period dash. Item 1, operations within mineral reservations, period dash, large-scale metallic mining operations within mineral reservations shall be subject to the royalty rate of 4% of the gross output of the minerals or mineral products extracted or produced, period, end quote.
Okay. What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve the amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, on the same page, same section of the bill, lines 31 to 32, replace the title of paragraph B with the following, open quote, item 2, operations outside mineral reservations, period dash, end quote, Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve the proposed amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, on page 4, line 12, replace item C to item B.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move to approve the amendment.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, on the same page, line 30, replace item D to item C.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve the amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I have no further amendments. Thank you
Thank you
so
very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Jinky Beatrix Luistro of the 2nd District of Batangas to introduce individual amendments.
Yep. And Honorable Luestro is recognized with your individual amendments.
Mr. Speaker, this representation wishes to propose the second set of amendments. On page 8, Mr. Speaker, delete lines 13 to 18, and in lieu of which, insert the following. The Mines and Geosciences Bureau shall require metallic mining companies to submit assay report for each shipment before leaving the loading ports. The report shall be shared with the Department of Finance and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve the amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The individual amendment is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, on our last proposed amendment on page 9, line 10, delete the phrase unlawful divulgence of trade secrets. Mr. Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Mr. Speaker.
What does the House say?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve the amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The proposed amendment is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other member who would wish to introduce individual amendment, I move that we close the period of individual amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of individual amendments is hereby closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we approve on second reading House Bill 8937, or the fiscal regime for the mining industry, as amended.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, please, what is the pleasure of the gentleman?
Mr. Speaker, may I know if we have more than enough members to transact business?
Move to suspend, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended.
Bago na, bago na.
Hardest worker. Capital Town. True Bukid.
With you also. Wala naman dito taga-page.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, earlier I put forward a motion to approve on second reading as amended House Bill 8937. Allow me to withdraw said motion.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved by the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move that we suspend consideration of House Bill 8937 or the fiscal regime for the mining industry. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to take up admin matters.
Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, I move that we refer the following House resolutions to the appropriate committees. House Resolution 1231,
This one.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, allow me to put forward an omnibus motion for the referral of the following House resolutions. House Resolution 1231, House Resolution 1232, House Resolution 1237, 1238, House Resolution 1239, House Resolution 1243, House Resolution 1246, and House Resolution 1252 to the appropriate committees.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The aforementioned House resolutions are hereby referred to their appropriate committees.
1 minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, earlier I had a motion. Allow me to amend it as follows. The referral of House Resolution 1231 to the Committee on Public Order and Safety, House Resolution 1232 to the Committee on Agriculture and Food, House Resolution 1237 to the Special Committee on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, House Resolution 1238 to the Committee on Public Order and Safety, House Resolution 1239 to the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, House Resolution 1243 to the Committee on Housing and Urban Development, House Resolution 1246 to the Committee on Ways and Means, and House Resolution 1252 to the Committee on Senior Citizens. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. The aforementioned House resolutions are hereby referred to their appropriate committees. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, I move that we refer the following speeches to the appropriate committees. The speech of the Honorable Yam Suan to the Committee on Justice, the speech of the Honorable Alba to the Committee on Agriculture and Food, the speech of the Honorable Dagook to the Committee on Energy, the speech of the Honorable Erwin Tulfo to the Committee on Public Order and Safety, the speech of the Honorable Bordado to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development, the speech of the Honorable Manuel to the Committee on Human Rights, the speech of the Honorable Franz Castro to the Committee on Basic Education and Culture, and the speech of the Honorable Acharon to the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources.
Are there any objections to the motion of the Majority Leader? The Chair hears none. The aforementioned privileged speeches are hereby referred to their appropriate committees.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move for the change of referral of the following measures. House Bill number 8862, allowing single-party consensual monitoring by law enforcement officers from the Committees on Public Order and Safety and Justice to the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. The motion of the Majority Leader is approved.
I further move, Mr. Speaker, for the change of referral of House Bill number 411, establishing the Baybay City National High School for Sports in Baybay City, Province of Leyte, from the Committee on Basic Education and Culture to the Committees on Basic Education and Culture and Youth and Sports Development. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. The motion of the Majority Leader is approved. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last Wednesday, September 6, 2023, we adopted House Resolution number 1255, resolution commending and congratulating Ernest John E.J. Uy Ubiena for winning the silver medal in the 2023 World Athletics Championship. I move for the consolidation of a similar measure, namely House Resolution number 1260 with House Resolution number 1255.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. The motion of the Majority Leader is approved.
Mr.
Majority Leader.
Speaker, last Wednesday, September 6, 2023, we adopted House Resolution number 1254, resolution expressing the profound condolences of the House of Representatives to the family of Mr. Miguel Mike C. Enriquez, a renowned broadcast journalist and GMA Network executive. I move for the consolidation of a similar measure, namely House Resolution number 1265 with House Resolution number 1254.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. The motion of the Majority Leader is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve Journal number 19 dated September 11, 2023, which was already distributed to the members, and further move that we dispense with the reading of said journal.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn session until Monday, September 18, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any objections? Chair hears none. Session is adjourned until September 18 at 3 p.m.
Basta abogado rin, ganahin ko.